What's going on, guys? Kulprit here. Welcome to my next episode of Mailbag, the series where I interact directly with you, answer some questions you pose to me in the comments, and it's just a cool way for me to kind of fill you in on things you might be interested in. It could be gaming, Battlefield 4, obviously, YouTube, personal questions, doesn't matter to me. How it works, you post in the comments anything you're wanting to know, and when it's time for me to sit down and make the next episode of the series, I'm going to pull the questions out of the previous episode's questions. Today, you guys actually supplied me some really good questions. I have 5 questions here. Tried to whittle them down, but I just decided not to do that. They're pretty good questions. They're fun to answer. Figure everybody might find them interesting. So this video is going to be a little longer than normal, but who cares? It's Friday. Why not? Let's do it. First question is from 931 Desperado. Mailbag, what are your thoughts on the Carbines being the universal weapon class now? Personally, I think that the top 3 best guns in the game are in the Carbine class category, which gives me no incentive to use other weapons that are set to one class. Thanks a lot. Really like the series. I see where you're coming from here. I don't think it's as bad as you portray it, but it's personal preference. So, assault rifles, they have their role. They're powerful, clearly. I think LMGs, I'm really enjoying LMGs a lot more than I thought I would. I kind of had your idea about, the carbines overshadowing everything. My plan initially was going to be, I'm just going to learn carbines and use them on every kit. It's going to make me a better player if I'm just using the same weapon on every kit. And you can do that, but I have not been doing that. Actually, I haven't really messed with the carbines that much at all, frankly, which is kind of surprising to me. But I think what I really like about it is it makes all the classes viable. Now, if you take a guy like me, I played no recon, really, not seriously in Battlefield 3. I would use the PDWs, those types of things, AS Val, I would use some recon here. I never touched sniper rifle, so I didn't really play recon that much. Now with, and I, like I said, I used AS Val, and I liked that weapon, but it wasn't, I didn't feel like it was as good as the other weapons. You were clearly at a disadvantage against the M16A3. In Battlefield 4, I don't think that's the case. I can use any weapon in the carbines and be fine in recon class. Clearly hold my own. It's not about, using a class for the weapons in Battlefield 4. It's about using a class for the gadgets and the items, and that, I think, is what it should be about. I do think it's a little weird, because actually where I think it's going to be even more pronounced, because I think sniper rifles are always going to have a role. People are always going to gravitate towards those. But I don't see that much engineer, the PDW weapons, being used. I think the carbines are basically the de facto class weapons for them. I haven't sunk my teeth into the PDWs at all. I'm sure they have a role, they have a place, but you really limit yourself by using them. You're kind of shoehorning yourself into one kind of type of engagement, which when you're playing an engineer with rockets and you're taking on tanks or stingers, you're not really usually positioning yourself up on the enemy, where these little PDWs kind of would warrant you to think so. So I think the carbines are basically absolutely overshadowing the engineer weapons, but that's okay with me because everybody has the same choice. I think it gives a lot more freedom. I know myself, I'll play a lot more other classes that way. It was really hard to get away from the assault class. Had the best gadgets, had the best weapons. It was hard to get away from it. Now you can get away from these things because you can take a really good weapon, the ACWR, say, or what have you, in the carbine class, and go to the support class if you don't like LMGs. So I like the flexibility it gives you. I understand your point. I think we're gonna have to wait a little bit longer to see how the weapons really shake out, especially when all these one-hit kill or low one-hit kill bug gets settled, and some of the hit notifications, and the game really settles out, and we find out what guns really are better. But I understand your notion, but I don't exactly agree with it. I think it's actually added quite a bit to the game, and it's made it more balanced overall. So thanks a lot for the question, though. I do really appreciate it. Question number 2 is from Matt Marps. What do you think of the netcode in Battlefield 4? I play on PlayStation 4, and it really seems like I'm getting screwed out of a lot of lives when I thought for sure I had the enemy dead. I'm talking about shooting 3 to 5 bullets in them and not getting a single hit marker. Yeah, obviously, I mean, it's not really what I think about netcode. It's what everybody thinks about the netcode. It's screwy. It's not very good. Netcode is a really blanket term. Obviously, a lot of these network guys I know hate it. There's a lot of different things going on under the hood, basically, and actually I'm told it has nothing to do with actually the netcode. It has to do with latency issues and things. There's a million things that go into it, but as a user, as a player, we don't care. It absolutely happens, like you said. I will shoot people, and I've been using support a lot, so I've been using the LMGs, and let me tell you, I will fire 50 bullets into a guy and not get a hit marker. Sometimes I don't get a hit marker, but I am hitting him. Like, I've killed guys without getting a single hit marker. It's just... And I think the worst part of it is that as bad as it is, the lack of hit markers, the lack of hit notification, I think is worse for me, where I don't know that I'm dying. Obviously, now we know about the one-hit kill bug, which they're supposed to patch in next week. is it's not consistent. It's like I'll take whatever you throw at me, and I will adapt. I will learn to play with it, and I've done some of that. I've played more slowly, I'm more cautiously, more cover to cover in Battlefield 4. But even then, it's like I said, sometimes it's just not consistent. It's not consistent at all, and that's what's most frustrating. Clearly, there is a netcode issue here, so don't bang your head against the wall. It's not you. It's the game. It's across all platforms. They keep talking about these settings on PC. The network smoothing factor, BS. They need to get in there and figure out what is causing this, because clearly there's something going on there. And then, of course, you have servers that I feel like some servers are overpopulated. They're, some of these hosts maybe are pushing stuff out there that can't handle it. So you got that on top of the net. It's just not a good scene right now, and it's pretty upsetting that we're this far into the game, we're still dealing with these issues. But it is what it is. I mean, obviously the big and the crashing and all that had to be addressed first. Now they're moving on to these. I feel like netcode is a big deal, but right now they have to make the game stable before they can even analyze netcode, and it's a mess, frankly. It really is, and it's embarrassing. It's disappointing. But I've said this before. I said it. I'll say it again. I love this game. I love what's there. It's just got to scrape all the bullshit away, and hopefully they're doing that, because if they don't do that, man, they've really wasted years of their lives on creating a game that they're not going to support. And I have faith they will support it. I do think they will. When we'll get there, I don't know. But I'm here for the long haul. I'm going to be playing this game for a while, so I'm willing to wait. Doesn't mean I have to keep my mouth shut about it, and neither do you. But you just be kind of constructive about it where you can, and be a little bit more respectful than some people are. But frustration is natural, and it's absolutely occurring, like you said. Thank you so much for the question, man. So, question 3, I was thinking of skirting, but I couldn't do it. It's my buddy Luton posted. Question for you. Do you think DICE did a good job of handling the recent Battlefield 4, despite all the problems that they suffered by users? Now, a little background here. Poor Luton took a lot of flack. Apologize for my phone vibrating. He kind of did a video kind of defending DICE, and I understood his viewpoint perfectly. I happen to disagree with it, but I kind of agree with the tone of it. I don't think all the abuse and the vitriol and all that is warranted. These are men that are men and women, I should say. I shouldn't say men. Have put a lot of time and a great portion of their lives into this game. And the game, like I said, at its core is phenomenal. I love it. I'm amazed by it, frankly. But do I think they did a good job? Or at least no, I don't. I'm not gonna get into this blaming EA, blaming DICE. It doesn't matter to me, frankly. I'm not here to blame people. I'm the consumer. I'm the player. I don't care who rushed this out. I don't care who the suits belong to or who writes the checks for the people that make these. It doesn't matter to me. The game is embarrassing right now, and I've been a defender of the game for a while now, but we're what, a month in now, and we're still, I mean, we have a little bit more stability, but I mean, I worry because this game is now across what, 5 platforms, and how they troubleshoot 5 platforms, I'm worried. I have faith, but I am worried. No, I don't think they handled it well. You can tell me, like the server crashing and all that. I'm almost more forgiving of that, because stability and you got PC, you've got all the platforms. I understand there's going to be crashes. I understand there's going to be lag, rubber banding, hardware type issues. I get that. To me, it's things like the one-hit kill, which what I don't get is I've seen documented evidence that was posted in beta on this exact issue. So somebody saw it. It was seen. It was decided it was known shippable, which is the term that they know of a bug, but we can still ship with it, because if we fiddle with this bug now, we have the chance of opening even more bugs and issues. So let's just ship it and we'll patch it as we go. Not acceptable. That's okay for like the reload glitch they had. Even then, that's borderline. But let's say you remember the reload where you dump the ammo. Yeah, that's not the end of the world, okay? And we can patch it when we get a chance. Alright, I might go for that. Still, that's still borderline. A one-hit kill bug where someone's just shooting you, just normally shooting you. There's no reproduction of it. It happens organically in the game, and people just die instantly, and a first-person shooter is not acceptable. You know about this bug, you ship anyway, which obviously the train is in motion at that point. They have to ship. But they should have been more transparent about it. Not acceptable, and unfortunately it's not, and I want to defend them because I have started to get a little bit of a personal relationship with some of them, but not as much as you have, Luton, and a lot of you guys, which I understand. When you meet people and you shake their hands and you have a one-on-one conversation with them, it's hard to be critical of them. It's like criticizing one of your friends. I get that. But my answer to you is no, I don't think DICE has handled the release at all. Now, I will tell them I've seen more positive out of them since the release. I mean, Vincent and Crash and Ian, the community managers, are doing a very good job of trying to communicate with people. I know there's threads on the forums. Things. I think they're gaining traction in the communication, which is great. Because with Battlefield 4 and Zinto, it was terrible. It was beyond terrible. It was an abomination of community management, quite frankly. I don't know if I blame him personally or it was the position. I've spoken at this. I see signs of positive movement in that regard for Battlefield 4, but as far as overall, no, I don't think they handled it very well. But thanks, man. Thanks for the question, and thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Alright, question number 4, a little more personal. This is from a hero almost. A question I really want to know about. Are your kids looking forward to Christmas, and what presents are they looking forward to? And what gift do you want to get most from Mr. Claus? Great series as always. My kids are a little young to kind of, like, my kids are basically 5 and 2. 2-year-old has no clue what's going on. He kind of gets it. He just mimics his brother. My son, who's not 5 yet, but he's basically 5, he gets it. He just wants everything. Like, he doesn't have the notion of, I want one big thing, and that's what I'm going to ask for, like a bike or a Nintendo. Well, Nintendo, I'm dating myself, or a PlayStation 4 or Xmas. No, he's not there yet. He just wants everything he sees. Like, I want that. I want that. Like, his Santa list is going to be a mile long. They are getting excited. They definitely are. We hold off on doing a lot of Christmas things until Thanksgiving's done, because we like Thanksgiving. We like to celebrate Thanksgiving. We don't want to overshadow it by Christmas. So we like to focus on Thanksgiving, and then once that's beyond, then we get into the Christmas. So probably in a week or two, it's going to really start getting hyped up for them. What gift do I want most from Mr. Claus? Actually, I want more gifts from my wife. I don't know. I was tinkering with the idea of a console, but I just don't think so. I don't think there's any need for me to have one right now. I like one, but it's just, there's no real games that interest me, frankly, and the ones that maybe do, like, you know, Division and things, that they're coming to PC. So I don't know. I will get one eventually for the kids, but I don't really have any big items. We've talked about getting a gift mutually, me and my wife, Sonos system. It's a sound system, a wireless sound system, kind of put in the house. And, you know, so in lieu of us getting each other a gift, we're just gonna pool that money and get that for us, because our kids really like music. We don't really have anything set up, so I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll be surprised on Christmas. It's pretty cool. My wife usually does a pretty good job, but I'm also the type of guy that buys what he wants, and the things I don't have now that I want are things she knows nothing about, like, you know, PC stuff and things. So I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I'm pretty amped up about Christmas. As of having a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old, they're gonna go berserk, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. I mean, that's what you look forward to. Thanks a lot for the question, man. Appreciate it. Alright, and question number 5 is from Juan Enrique. I understand that BF4 has issues, but when one is playing it, they're trying to have the best fun they can and enjoy it, but sometimes there's people who play with, who, let's say, complain a little bit too much. What would you say to those people who complain on TS or Xbox Live parties, and when all you're doing is trying to have fun? Now, this is a really good question. It's a big issue. It's a big issue for me. I deal with this a lot. You know, I play with a lot of random people a lot. I mean, I play with a lot of the same crew, and it's hard for me. It's hard for me, especially when I'm recording. I'm trying to, you know, play and maybe get some comms, and there's one guy hammering on about this or that, the other thing, and it's rough. And my answer is I usually don't say anything. I usually excuse myself, and I just go on and play by my lonesome or what have you. That's not the right answer, I'll tell you that right now. And then I tend to avoid people like that. A lot of times that's why you don't see me in TeamSpeak right now when I'm recording, which right now I'm recording all the time, is because I don't have time to deal with that, nor I don't have the desire to deal with that sometimes. But it's the same with chat. I mean, it's the same notion. It comes from some people just have too much time to play, and they're already burnt out on the games, and I don't. So I don't get like that. I'll complain, and I'll be like, what was that? You know, like that kind of thing. But I'm not one to rage, and I don't really surround myself with people that do. And it's just the whining. It just gets to be too much. And like you said, it's like, why do you play this game then? If it bothers you that much, go play something else. And basically, I mean, I don't think you're in the wrong if you say something at all. I don't think if you're in TeamSpeak or Xbox Live, start your own party. And if somebody asks why, tell them why. If nobody's going to tell the guy or the multiple people, they may never change and they may never understand. And if they blow a gasket, they blow a gasket. What are you gonna do? They're gonna rage more, and so what? They're not gonna play with you anymore. That's kind of what you want, isn't it? So I don't know. Like, I get it. I get why people get upset. I get why people rage and whine, and I just choose to avoid it. I don't surround myself with that. I don't have time with it. I deal with. I'm in a customer service kind of business, and we deal with customers all day and that stuff. And then I come home, I gotta deal with my kids, and they whine and moan. Then there's appeasing the wife and all that, and then I get in the game, and nah, I don't want to hear that. It's video games after all, and some people lose sight of that. And I think because, you know, and I was there when I was younger. They play so much. It's at their disposal. They have a lot of free time. They take it for granted, and it's just there. It's what they do to kill boredom. Whereas I'm from the opposite spectrum. I don't have enough time to do it. I seek it out. It's my form of enjoyment and my release from everything else. And if I've got an hour and a half to play, I don't want to spend 50 minutes hearing about this guy's, you know, rage quit or whatever. So it's a tough spot, man. It's a tough spot, I know. And it's everybody tries to be PC and get along, but sometimes it just doesn't happen. And there's no harm with either removing yourself and telling them why later, or just, hey man, can you cut it out? I don't know. There's no perfect solution. That's how I deal with it. I avoid it. It's probably not the best way, most mature way, but it's the easiest way for me because I just don't want the drama. But thanks, man. I appreciate the question. I might talk to you privately about that. See what's going on. But once again, guys, thanks to all the guys for the questions. They were pretty good questions, I thought. Pretty thoughtful. Caused a good, you know, made me think. And I'd love to hear what you guys think about each one in the comments. Just indicate which question you're answering if it's not obvious. I appreciate that. And remember, if you have any questions for me for next episode, for probably next week sometime, post it in the comments here. I will look at these comments first when I'm looking for questions. You can also always do it via, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube private messages, what have you, even emails listed below if you wanted to ask something privately, but understand that then I'm going to answer that question publicly. But if you don't want your name attached, please indicate that and I won't mention it. But once again, guys, thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you watching. I will talk to you soon. Take care.